talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
I'm not talking unless y'all giving me likes, commenting, and subscribing. You hear me? Oh, okay. Well, hey, it's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, we have a few things that we are about to get into. Not a whole lot. Definitely giving a quick chat. So let us go ahead and get right on into it. The first thing that I do want us to talk about is the situation with Caleb Wilson. All right. For a lot of people that do not know, unfortunately, Caleb Wilson passed away on last week due to some fraternity incident that took place off campus in a warehouse. Originally, we were being told that Caleb collapsed in a park, and then they transported him from the park to the hospital. All right. Then we learned that those guys that were a part of that ceremony or initiation, whatever they had going on, they lied. All right. They said it actually took place at a warehouse, where we learned that Caleb was actually punched in the chest. After being punched in the chest, Caleb collapsed. All right. They took Caleb from, and I'm hearing different things. Some people are saying that there was a hospital much closer to them, but instead of taking Caleb to that hospital that was nearby, they took him to a hospital that may have been 20 minutes away. Once they got Caleb to that hospital, it was later pronounced that Caleb unfortunately died. All right, he died at that hospital, is what they were saying. Very tragic story. Did not need to happen. More details are indeed coming out, as they have said that arrest warrants were to be expected very soon, and it looks like they just might have somebody in custody. Okay, so I do want us to tap into a few things here when it comes to Caleb's story. So let us hop right over and get into this.
Arrest warrants are expected to be issued any day now, tied to that hazing death of Southern University student Caleb Wilson. Now, our sources are telling us that hazing charges are definitely on the table, but investigators are looking to see if the hazing death charge is even enough.
Chief Investigator Chris Nakamoto joins us now with more on what he's learned from sources. Chris.
Well, good evening, Liz and Greg. We're told at least 3 individuals who were present that night are facing charges and possibly more. Our sources say those charges being considered range from hazing and could go all the way up to manslaughter.
Whoop.
It's been a week since Southern University student Caleb Wilson died in what has quickly morphed from a death investigation to a full-blown hazing investigation, as detectives get to the bottom of who knew what and when.
This vigil is meant to honor the memory of Caleb Wilson.
Candlelight vigils at Southern University. And remembrances in Kenner, where Caleb grew up, mark the somber feeling here and across the state.
I just want to thank you all, the Human Jukebox. This is Caleb's life.
The WAFBI team first to report this week the story that was initially told to investigators about where Caleb collapsed was an extraordinary lie. That story included pledges going to this Breck Park when Wilson fell unresponsive. Instead, we learned it was all fabricated. Wilson collapsed inside this warehouse off of Greenwell Springs Road after 9 pledges were in a line taking blows to the chest, according to our sources. East Baton Rouge Parish District Attorney Hiller Moore says the charges being considered could be felonies.
You start with the basic hazing statute, which starts off as a misdemeanor. It's actually now the Max Groover statute, but it then increases to hazing where a death is involved, carries much more time, or bodily injury is involved. And there's also the civil component for corporations or that organizations that knew and didn't fully report to the police immediately. So we're looking at those things at this point.
Adding a layer of complexity here is a nuance in charging language. A hazing death is not considered a homicide, even though the death is caused by another person. That explains why Baton Rouge police have continued to call this a death investigation.
We do not have a complete autopsy report, and so there's been no determination that the death was a homicide. When we talk about homicide in law enforcement terms, we're talking about what's called uniform crime reports. And when you ask at the end of the year how many homicides did we have, that doesn't include manslaughter and negligent homicide. It actually includes murder, second-degree murder.
As the investigation plays out, his family tells the I-Team grieving Caleb's death hasn't been easy. It has not been released for them to even plan a funeral.
All right, Chris Nakamoto out here with us now. Chris, you've been on this all throughout this week and beyond. What about that warehouse? Where are we getting on that, where all of this is supposed to have taken place?
Yeah, certainly, of course, that was the great big lie. Multiple days this week, we've reached out to the landlord of that warehouse for a comment, but we have not heard back. Of course, that's the area the alleged hazing happened. It's co-rented by Baton Rouge Metro Councilman Cleve Dunn, and he told us this week he, of course, had no idea that the warehouse was being used for this. He co-rents it with businessman Todd Smith. He got Todd Smith on the phone, and Todd Smith confirmed to us that his son is an Omega and a student at Southern. And while our sources say those warrants are expected to be issued soon, it's still unclear on exactly when that might happen. Of course, this is just a sad situation all around, and our hearts go out to Caleb Wilson's family.
Yeah, so many people think about that young man. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Okay. My bad, y'all. I did not mean to click on that. Okay, so that's real interesting. So y'all know I'm over here working my gears, and I'm trying to figure out, well, who is Cleve Dunn? Is he an Omega as well? I mean, I would want to believe it. Could he potentially be? He could be, but he co-owns it. I think they said with the Todd Smith, the guy Todd Smith. I guess he's an Omega, or at least his son is. And child, y'all done messed up the thing. Okay, y'all have messed up the thing. Now, before we get into additional details regarding the situation of who they have now arrested for punching Caleb, for the death of Caleb, I do want us to touch real quick and go back to the Max Groover, because we've watched more than one of these news stories and they've mentioned Max Groover, and I was like, well, what was his name? And I had to look it up. And for the people that don't know, I wanted us to get into that real quick. All right. So it appears, and a lot of people were like, they more so talk about the black organizations, and I only care about the black people or whatever. And I understand completely. But it looks like because of what happened to this white young man, it's likely going to get this black young man tied the hell up as well, because of the Stop Campus Hazing Act that was put in place by Max Groover's family. So they're saying it's going to save somebody else's life. Unfortunately, it didn't save someone else's life, but they have a crime for sure to attach. They're saying that parents or charged to attach to him related to this crime. But they're saying parents of son who died after being hazed speaks on newly passed the Stop Campus Hazing Act. All right. College students will now know any campus organization's hazing history prior to joining after the Stop Campus Hazing Act passed in the U.S. Senate. All right. This week, they're saying Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy started working on the act after LSU student Max Groover died after being hazed. More than half of college students experience hazing in extracurricular activities. Correct, which is why when we first started talking about it, I was highlighting that, hazing exists in so many organizations. I understand the conversation is primarily about the black organization Omega Psi Phi. However, a lot of people are losing their lives in a variety, of organizations as well. They're saying changing one person's mind or having somebody doing the right thing in those situations, that's all we can ask for. That's all we can hope for. And it's going to save somebody else's life. All right. They're saying that these two parents lost their son in 2017 after he was forced to drink excessively in a hazing activity while pledging an LSU fraternity. Okay, they said documents show his blood alcohol level was 6 times the legal limit. All right, they go on to say that when Max Groover rushed, or when he did the process, he nor his family knew the fraternity's history. We had no idea that Phi Delta Thetas had a student code of conduct of violations, including hazing, and had been suspended for hazing just the fall before their son passed away. All right. So he did that process, and unfortunately, they forced him to drink. Ain't no telling what else they may have done to this young man, and it all led to his death. They said that I believe somebody ended up being charged in his death. I'm not sure of all of the guys, but let me just check real quick. Let's see. Okay, so they indicted someone by the name of Matthew, who was 20 years old, on negligent homicide in the death of Maxwell Groover. And there were 3 other men that ended up being indicted on hazing charges for Max, and that is the white young man that you guys just saw on the screen. So they did end up rounding up about 4 people as it was related to the death of that young man. Now, when it comes to Omega Psi Phi and this young man Caleb Wilson, the irony is that the person that they did arrest, his name is Caleb also. So you will forever remember this, honey, and you will forever remember Caleb Wilson. All right, so I want us to get into that article over here. So let us check this out really quickly. Okay, they're saying arrest made in Caleb Wilson hazing death investigation. Up to 10 people could face charges as a result of this young man's death. One person has been arrested in the alleged hazing death of Southern University student Caleb Wilson. The person arrested was identified as 23-year-old Caleb McCray. Sources told WBRZ that McCray was booked into jail on 1 count of hazing and 1 count of manslaughter. He is a Southern graduate and a member of Omega Psi Phi. This young man graduated Southern University in 2023, I do believe, is when he graduated. So you graduated in 2023, and then he came back to the university. When we first talked about this, I told you guys, sometimes these old heads or these people that graduate out of the chapter will come back, and undergrads will allow it, and they will get the whole chapter tied the hell up because they may be doing certain things that they may feel like they want to get in trouble for or get caught for or something. Right? So they fell victim to this, and there is no telling out of those 10 people if some of those individuals are undergrad as well or if they're graduates. So we shall see. Okay, but this is what they're saying. All right. They also go on to say to let us know more about, this young man passing away on last week. All right. And now I want us to get into this updated report here.
And for the second day in a row, a Southern University student was honored, and this time with a second line through Treme. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Devin Bartolotta. Caleb Wilson was a Human Jukebox band member whose death is being investigated as part of a hazing incident.
Lily Cummings was there tonight as community members mourned his tragic loss.
Loved ones say Caleb Wilson's passion for music started young. Friends remember meeting him through the Trombone Shorty Foundation.
The music was going to take us far, and it took us far with being in Trombone Shorty Foundation. Me and him been traveling the world together. We've been to Cuba, California 5 times, and Utah.
Wilson's musical journey began in New Orleans, first with Roots of Music.
I met him through the Roots of Music when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
In high school, he was a proud member of the Warren Easton Marching Band, then Southern University's Human Jukebox.
He had a good spirit. He was gifted with the trumpet, and he had a good heart.
As dozens second-lined through the Treme Thursday evening, it was clear that community members from each stop on his journey were represented.
All the lives that he's touched, us losing him, we all lost a piece of ourselves, and that's something that no one's ever going to get back.
According to our partners at WBRZ, the junior mechanical engineering student died last week after being punched in the chest at an off-campus fraternity event. Wilson's family was there among the crowd, and his friends say it meant the world to see New Orleans show their support.
It really shows, not even, the individual, how much, band is, city.
Music brought Wilson into their lives, and it's with music he departs. Lily Cummings, WWL, Louisiana.
Wilson's death is being investigated by authorities and the university. The East Baton Rouge district attorney said arrests are imminent.
Very much so are imminent, as they have arrested someone, and I would like to get their photo up on this screen for you guys to see here. So give me just a second. All right, guys, this is the young man here that has been arrested in connection with Caleb's passing, okay? With his death, this is who they have, okay? His name is Caleb McCray, as we already stated. He's about 23 years old, and he is indeed a graduate of Southern University, okay? So if he hasn't been getting to singing before, he about to be getting to singing now. Now, who exactly administered the blow? I would want to believe that is him, but I am not necessarily sure if he was the one that administered the blow to Caleb, all right? But this is the young guy that they do have, and I want us to get into just a little bit more. Okay, let us see this young man in action for just a second. Okay, so let us switch over here to the book and let us just see this young man on the day he graduated.
Candidate, there's no.
They're saying this young man just graduated, okay? Just graduated in 2024, actually. I'm sorry, I thought it was 2023, but he had just graduated in 2024. And I think he graduated last year. I know the post was made on the 14th of December, so maybe he graduated in December of last year. Child, ain't that something? So you still very close in a sense to the university, especially if you decided to graduate and go on to graduate school as well. Although you're out of the chapter, you're still a part of that undergraduate life in a sense, because you left so many friends back there, and it's different than just like high school, right? But child, this right here is a mess. But I do want us to go over here and slide into one more thing when it comes to Mr. McCray. This was, child, this is, I feel I'm just, all I'm thinking about is you just messed your life up. Okay, you about doing what you done seen done, or what has happened to you, or whatever the case is, and now you just ruined your life. So on his LinkedIn, he says you dictate your own happiness and success. The irony of that, you dictate your own happiness and success. You also dictate your downfall as well, in my opinion. Very sad. He also was a part of the military. He was a National Guard in the military since 2019. Child, that's let this be a lesson. If y'all have not learned anything, joining these organizations or being in these organizations, bringing in new people, if you have not learned anything before, please learn it now. Please learn from somebody else's situation so you don't find yourself in the same predicament. Please learn. Please learn to not carry on the same antics. Please learn, because that is just insane to me. Oh, I really hate it. Very unfortunate, but it looks like they have indeed arrested this young man, and they are saying that more is to come. So I would say good luck, but I'm not. That's where we are. That is where we are with Caleb Wilson's story. They are making arrests, and they've made their first one. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. All right. Now, there is more that I want us to get into, and that is Gayle King, y'all. So just last week, we did have the conversation where Gayle King was talking about how afraid she was to be a part of, SpaceX, when these all-women crew go up in space. And I want you guys, for those that did not hear, to listen to what Gayle said now. Remember what Gayle said.
I have to tell you, I'm so afraid.
Stop, Gail.
I am. I'm so afraid, but I'm also so excited about it. When they asked me, and they asked me around Thanksgiving, I was like, no. Then I started thinking about it. I met with favorite daughter Kirby, favorite son Will, Oprah. That's my kitchen cabinet. They will all be there that day with their spouses. And I just thought, what a unique opportunity. And then yesterday, I met the crew. We're now the crew. We're all on a text chain together. And their stories are so amazing. When Aisha was told, your dreams are too big. Somebody else was told, women don't go in. We'll introduce you later, but one mom said her son, when he was a little boy, and she said she was going to space, his kids at school said, you're a liar, because moms don't go to space.
Okay, so this is Gayle being very afraid, and her people with her are trying to encourage her and support her and let her know, like, girl, don't be too scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could really do this. Don't be afraid. Now let's listen to more.
Now she's going. Somebody else is a sexual assault survivor. Katy Perry she's a different kind of dude. She comes from a totally different planet. It's been her lifelong dream. Lauren Sanchez, we all know, she flies helicopter pilots. She's a philanthropist. She's an author. We know, of course, that she's engaged to Jeff Bezos. So all these people, this has been their dream. This was never my dream.
No. Yes, but Gail,
it was never my dream. And somebody said, well, maybe you need to have new dreams, Gail.
No,
maybe
but Gail,
you
actually, that's good advice. And
it is.
I think it's so awesome.
I don't know how to explain being terrified and excited at the same time. It's like how I felt about to deliver a baby.
But Gail, here's the way I thought about it when I heard the news. First of all, I'm proud to be at your side every morning and sit with you and to know that you're going into space. When we were children, astronauts didn't look like me and you. And what I thought of when
Astronaut's a loose word. What are you talking about?
Yes, but you're going into Astros. And
I know.
So to me, that's what you're going to be after this journey. And I thought immediately that
I'm shaking right now, even though.
Here's what I thought. I thought of that Maya Angelou quote where she wrote that the desire to reach for the stars is ambitious, but the desire to reach hearts is wise. And you've spent decades reaching our hearts. You're going to go into space and tell us what it's like to be an ordinary person. You're not John Glenn. You're not Neil Armstrong. You're Gayle King. Yeah. And the way that you're going to be able to relate that story back to those of us who have followed you and watched you and have been at your side and not been at your side for all these years, that's the true value in what you're doing.
I had a big birthday, as you guys know. You were both there. And I thought I wanted to open myself up to new adventures and step out of my comfort zone. And once Kirby and Will were fine with it and Oprah was fine with it, I was surprised because I thought Oprah would say no, but she said no. She said, I think if you don't do it, when they all come back and you have the opportunity to do it, you will be kicking yourself. And she's right. She's right.
You can possibly say no. We spent our whole
I feel like you trying to step out your comfort zone, but you need to step back into your boundaries just a little piece, because what they are reporting, honey, now is that the Starship done fucking exploded. And I'm just like, girl, stay where the hell you at, girl. Stay where you at, all right? They're saying the 8th test flight of Elon Musk's Starship rocket system Thursday evening exploded. Okay, so Gail, you ain't wrong. Okay, you have that intuition and those feelings, in my opinion, for a reason, and you just might want to scale back just a little piece, in my personal, girl.
Tom Costello's at Kennedy Space Center. The images are just coming in. Tom, what exactly happened here?
This was the 8th attempt to run a test flight for Starship, and it didn't get far. We saw the booster rocket come right back down to the launch pad as planned shortly after liftoff, perfect in every way. But at the same time, Starship itself began tumbling out of control. SpaceX Mission Control said they'd lost control of that vehicle and lost contact with it. And then we began getting reports that debris was raining down over certain Caribbean islands off the coast of Florida. So far, no reports of any injuries, but we did see air traffic control at several airports put every plane in a holding position until the debris was down. In addition, this looks very much like what happened back in January when Starship also broke up over the Turks and Caicos. This is all about getting a rocket that someday can go to the moon.
Tom Costello's at Kennedy Space.
This right here is crazy work.
That Starship blew up. There it is.
The pieces are falling out the sky, y'all. Very much so slowly from what it looked like to us, but it's probably going very fast. I see why they told them planes to stop. BITCH, I've learned enough from Ocean Gate to know that, no ma'am. Okay, trust that intuition. That boy that went down to the Ocean Gate, he did not want to go. His daddy wanted him to go with him. And what happened? It imploded and everybody died. Okay, so you sent that boy down there to that death. Gail, I do think you should listen to yourself. I don't think you'll be missing out on anything. I don't care what nobody says or none of that, okay? I don't think you'll be missing out on anything. I feel like you want to be one of the first black anchors or some to go up there. You ain't got to have all the titles. You really don't. Not, in my personal, I would not trust it. I feel like they haven't done enough flights. Okay, y'all have not done enough flights, test flights or whatever for somebody to feel secure. If he ain't sending himself up there, then I don't support it. I don't support it. I don't. I just disagree. I disagree. Trust yourself, girl. Trust yourself and move on. But either way, and good luck to Miss Gail and whatever decision she chooses to make for her life. Next up, let's get into Dr. Umar really quickly, because it appears that a young woman that is his daughter is coming out, and she has some things to say, okay? Let me see, because I guess she's saying that he's been an absent father. So let's hear what she has to say.
TikTok, so I just wanted to come on here with a small short announcement. I just want to start this video off by saying I'm not trying to get clout. I literally just want to have a conversation with my father. My biological father is Dr. Umar. He has another daughter. I tried to contact him about, getting to know my sister on my dad's side. I asked him if he knows her or if he has her number. He ignored me and never responded.
Wow.
I'm 22 years old now. My dad has never been to anything important, no graduation, no birthday parties, nothing. He has not been in my life. Again, I'm not making this video to bash him. I'm making this video to state facts, okay? You can't get on Instagram and get on social media and portray to be an activist and talk about how black kings need to be with black women, but you're not even in your black woman's daughter's life. It doesn't make sense. You're being a hypocrite. And it's frustrating because I reached out to you. I reached out to you. I shouldn't have had to do that. I'm your daughter. But I'm smart enough and logical enough to know that you would never reach out to me because you don't have my phone number. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't try to reach out to me because for what? I don't want anything out of you. I want nothing but a conversation. Forget the relationship. I really don't care too much about that at this point. I just wanted a conversation out of you and you shut me down. You ignored me. You should never be too busy for your daughter ever in life. So I just wanted to make this video to just try to, I guess, somehow find my sister on my dad's side. So if you see this, please reach out to me. Please DM me because I want to know who you are. Why do I have siblings out there that I don't know about? It's unfair. And, deadbeat fathers is very common nowadays, especially in the black community, right? We all know Dr. Umar reps the black community or whatever, but you can't rep that if you're not even in your daughter's life. You moving backwards. You're moving backwards. It's not making sense. To the public, you look like this person, but in private, you a whole nother person. And I'm not bashing you. I just don't understand why you're ignoring me. I'm 22 years old and you have yet to be in my life. No graduations, no parties. When I get married, are you going to be at the wedding? Are you going to walk me down the aisle? Y'all, I have a stepdad who has been in my life since a little girl. He has been in my life. And I thank God for him because my biological father couldn't even do that, y'all. My biological father is not even on my birth certificate because when my mom had me, he left. And I do have a DNA test. So yes, I can prove that that's my father. I would never get on here and lie to y'all. That's kind of sick and delusional and crazy. But I'm just making this video because I want to find my sister. And when I reached out to him about giving me her number or if he even had it, I was ignored. So now I guess I have to take matters into my own hands. So if you see this video, sister, please reach out to me because if he's not going to allow us to be in contact, I'll do it myself. I just want to end this video off by saying that daughters who have deadbeat fathers should not have to go through this. This is very present in the black community. And as an activist, I would not think that you would be a deadbeat because you rep the black community so much. It doesn't make any sense. You cannot be a hypocrite. You can't say do A, but you're doing B. It doesn't make any sense. So y'all already heard my mission for this video. Y'all already heard why I'm making this video. So if she can reach out to me, I would love that. I would love to have a conversation with you because you are my sister on my father's side that I have never met. I don't even know your name. I don't even know how old you are. I have a sister on my mom's side and I'm the oldest. I'm pretty sure that my sister that's on my dad's side, I'm probably older than her. I'm supposed to be guiding her. I'm supposed to be teaching her things because you as the father, you're not doing that. So let me do that as an older sister. But that's the end of this video. As I stated in the beginning of this video, I'm not trying to bash this man. I'm stating facts. Facts. And in the next clip, I will show y'all the screenshot of me trying to reach out to him and he ignored me after I asked him if he had my sister's phone number. So here you go.
Oh, wow. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Okay, if this is in fact my daughter, is there a reason why you're not messaging me directly from your cell phone? This is my iCloud, but my phone number is X, Y, and Z. Text me from your phone. She says, this is Anissa. This is a different number. Why the numbers, da, 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 da. And then, do you have any other children? I would love to meet them. Do you have their numbers? Okay, so let's see. Was there any more to this, ma'am? Okay. That might be all that she had on there. Let me see. Okay. So he does respond, but I actually want to see if I can go to his actual page and see if that response is still up on that page. Let's see. Oh, that's crazy there, honey. All right. Oh, okay. So this was hours ago. Oh, girl, what he got going on over here? Okay, Give me a second, y'all, as I'm combing through his page trying to see something.
Make sure you. I've never dated a
Okay. Okay, so maybe did he take anything down? Let's see. All right, so let's go back to their page and get into what this man had to say, child. So he tells her that he says, let's go back over here. It says, good Garvey Day, as I don't live in the prison of other people's opinions, I have no interest in discussing nor explaining my private life with any of you, as my 15 years as the most relevant and requested scholar, orator, activist, pan-Africanist in the world, has made it clear to me that the Negro public is only interested in laughs at the expense of other people's misery. Neither that nor the YouTubian streamer community, hilarious, couldn't care less about the truth of this situation. Like, why you gotta call the folks struggle streamer when wasn't you just trying to get some money not too long ago? And a lot of these people making more money than you. With that being said, please ask that little girl to stand on business by asking her mother to join in on a three-way conversation about why her father hasn't been present in her life. Now, why you got a little girl hurt when she's an adult? And she could get on the phone all day long if it's a three-way conversation. So why do you want them to have a three-way conversation? You don't want to have the conversation in front of the public, but you want a three-way conversation so you can release the information to the public that you're trying to down talk because somebody came out and told their truth about you. Yikes. But then says, but her mother must be present for that conversation. She needs to keep the same energy and bring her mother to the table. And how you know she hasn't? And maybe the mama don't want to have SHI to do with you. And at this point, I feel like she don't really got to. The girl grown now. What's done is done. I am sure the truth will be revealed if all three of us are present together. I have absolutely nothing to hide, and I still have all of my family court paperwork in case any lies are told. Trying to use your father's name to build up your struggle streamer career is not so cool. Like, for you to do that, like, that's just whack. I feel like his response is very telling. And honestly, what the daughter said about him isn't different than what a lot of us had already think. It's already giving that he's been a fucking hypocrite. But he still has those followers that have praised him the same way those praised Kevin Samuels, okay? But he's definitely, in my personal, a walking hypocrite. You can advocate for black families, black this, black that, and then want to sit up here and talk about why you weren't in that child's life. If you really wanted to be in that child's life, in my personal, Mr. I still have my court documents and paperwork. You could have took it to court to make sure you got the visitation that you were supposed to get. And even if you guys got on a three-way call, it doesn't mean that it's going to change people's thoughts about the mom. They may feel even worse about you. Okay, like, this right here is just straight clownery to me. Just whack. Okay, why she gotta have a conversation with her mama, and then you don't want to have a conversation online, but you want to try to slick throw her mama under the bus. You don't want it to be a laughing matter for you, but you think it's gonna be a laughing matter for the mom. Well, like, I can't. When the mama still did most of the work, like, I'm just so, child, go away from us with this, okay? reach out to your daughter, and all she asked for was for the phone numbers to her siblings. That's all she asked. If you have other children, I just want to meet them. That's all you had to do was get her their number. But the fact that you can't even provide that makes me question if you even have a relationship with those kids. So if those kids decide to come out and start doing the same thing that she doing, don't say that. You can say something if you want to. But child, this is crazy. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. Maybe y'all feel like she was wrong for even bringing this to the internet. Maybe this was none of the internet's business. Maybe you feel like Dr. Umar. Or maybe you feel like she has every right to tell her business and whatever else it is. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below, honey. That's all that I got. I'm Jami, that's me. And of course, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can fill a pool with